Wayne Anderson made the most of his 2 years on Palatine Hill. The Mount Hood Community College transfer earned all conference and all District 2 honors in each of his 2 seasons. He was named the Northwest Conference co-MVP and team MVP in 1988. In just 2 seasons, he belted the 8th most home runs in program history with 22, and he sits 6th all-time with a .363 career batting average. Anderson was incredibly consistent. He ranks in the top 15 in program history for a single season in home runs, runs batted in, and runs scored, and accomplished the feats in both 1987 and 1988. The outfielder slash designated hitter racked up 101 hits, 86 runs scored, 79 RBI, and 37 extra base hits while playing in 75 of 76 games. Anderson set the then single-season records for games played with 38 and runs scored with 45 during the 1987 season. That year, Lewis and Clark went 14-1 in conference play and won the NAIA District 2 title.
I'm going to start off here, if you'll just please indulge me for a second. It's been a tough year for our era. We lost a couple of classmates, if you will. And if we could just put our forks down for a second and a brief moment of silence for Carol Davis and Kevin Baker. Thank you very much. They are 2 amazing people. Kevin's a baseball player here. Carol's a swimmer, and they're going to be really missed. Terrific people. So, but tonight, alas, it's about Wayne. And where do I start? So Wayne is our paths didn't actually cross here with Lewis and Clark. I'm a little older than him, and we met, I believe, at an alumni game. And then from there, played some old man baseball together, did a little business together, and have become great friends. And I actually wasn't his first choice to speak tonight. Nice guys finish last. So I'm actually pinch hitting, if you pardon the baseball pun, for Wayne's good buddy, Bob Peterson, who was traveling and had other things scheduled and just couldn't get here. So unbeknownst to Bob, he's going to get picked on a little bit too, and that's what you get when you don't come and you can't defend yourself. So before I talk about Wayne's baseball exploits, I'm going to start with, before he went into the Baseball Hall of Fame, he was in the Hall of Fame of Antics. And this is where Bob comes in. So I think this is pretty much PG, if not G, but really. But Bob and his other roommate, Max, broke into Bob's room one night. I don't know, Bob, maybe he was studying, and proceeded to turn upside down all of his furniture, everything. Couches, tables, chairs, dressers, desks, and then somehow managed to put all the stuff back in so that when Bob tried to put it together, probably took him an hour and a half. Bob walks in the door, probably took him 5 hours to put it back together. So they also so Bob and Wayne played outfield together, and Bob asked me to share this story. Wayne knows what's coming. So Wayne was playing center field, and if you know baseball, the center field is kind of captain of the outfield. They're the ones that figure out who's going to, if there's a fly ball hit between the right fielder and left fielder, who's going to call it, who's going to catch it. Outfielders take precedence over infielders, et cetera, et cetera. So Bob tells me, as the story goes, Bob's in right field, ball's hit, kind of in between him, but over his head, and Wayne tells him, you got room, you got room, you got room, until Bob runs into the fence. I forgot to ask him, did you catch the ball on his feet? He caught it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I should share this next story about Bob, but Wayne and Max, the jokers that they are, also decided that Bob needed a date. And so this is 1986, 7, 8, 7, 8. There were no cell phones, and I guess people were looking for things to do. So they took a candid Polaroid photo of him. You know how you go into a supermarket and they've got those little phone numbers you can pull off there? And they put on there that, "Hi, my name's Bob. I like long walks in the park. I play baseball and I chew tobacco. Please call me. I would like a date." These things ended up anywhere, everywhere. Women's restroom. I don't know how they got there. You also used to be able to buy the daily paper, so you put money in. They were inside the stand. So in order for Bob to remove that one, he had to pay for his paper. Okay, let's talk baseball. Enough of the Hall of Antics. Wayne, when he comes up later, Wayne's kind of a big guy, barrel-chested, and when you come up later, you're going to have a bat. He was an intimidating figure. So if you're the opposing pitcher, imagine this guy walking up. And I tried to do this in my garage earlier with the bat that he has, and I'm going to test him to see if he can still do it. And I found one that suits me a little bit better. But Wayne used to walk up, and he'd walk up one-handed, do that all the way to the plate. Very, very intimidating. And so when you come up, I thought we'd have more room. The last time I did this was for Dutton, and I believe we were in Pamplin, and we had this huge area, it's the gym, right? And so I don't know. Be careful. Wayne also, if you're a baseball fan, you'll know how amazing this is. In one game, he went 6 for 6. He got up 6 times and got 6 base hits. That's really unheard of. It's hard to go 2 for 6. He was also on a Lewis and Clark team, and it's funny, the older we get, how these stories go. And I've heard this story from probably 12 different people that all said that they hit home runs in this game. And we think like the true number, but there were 5, 6, 7 people that hit for Lewis and Clark that hit home runs. And credit Doug for this. Are there any football players here? No football players. Football coaches. Well, back in the day, at the field, Joe Houston, they had a shed for equipment, and the football players used to sit out on that shed. And because those teams were so mighty, powerful, et cetera, and they hit so many home runs, the football players decided, we need to bring a net. And so they brought this net that would try to catch these home runs and torment the left fielders, et cetera, et cetera. Well, Wayne was part of a team that of guys that hit, 6 home runs in a row? 6 consecutive home runs. And Wayne, where were you in that order? I've heard some people say, no, it was 7, but there were 5, and then someone struck out, and then there were 2 more. But 6, we're going with 6, let the record show. In terms of, Wayne darn near invented what they call in baseball as a 5-tool player. And I was like a 2-tool player and a tool. So if I can't name them all, it's hitting for average, hitting for power, running, fielding, and throwing. And that's what the Major League Scouts look for. And Wayne had all of that. All of that. It's interesting now, and it's amazing for the state of Oregon, but way back then, when we walked to school in our snowshoes uphill both ways, the scouts didn't come to Oregon. Maybe they went and saw the D1 guys like Ken, but they weren't coming to NAI or T3 schools looking at guys. And so not many people that came through here got the opportunity to play professional. I heard Justin's name. He was one of them, and he's a former big leaguer, and Dan Jones or a few other. But there are at least a half a dozen people from that area era that should have gotten that opportunity. And if they played now, I mean, we have kids from Portland being drafted 10th in the first round. I mean, it's really pretty crazy. So it's credit to a lot of the coaches that have persevered in the Northwest. Certainly turf fields have helped. And certainly, the players from this area that have gone on and made a name for this area. So Wayne is one of a number of guys here that didn't get that opportunity that absolutely should have. And that makes today extra special that you're being recognized for your exploits on the field. Wayne also Wayne had unbelievable power. There's a story from Manhood Community College that he hit a ball, I think it was in practice, but over the fence by the track, and one of the track athletes brought the ball over, and it was literally 500 feet away, right? Now, he didn't hit 500, it hit and then rolled, but they came over and said, did you guys lose this? And everybody's like, yeah, that was Wayne. That's just unbelievable power. He also hit for average, as they mentioned with the stats. And I was going to stay away from stats, but the last piece I think that makes Wayne incredibly unique as a player, and some of us were talking about this earlier, he had the funniest ball, like he would hit these home runs that looked like they were going to hit the shortstop in the head. And somehow they would just start out on line and then became this majestic thing of beauty. Tremendous player, tremendous person, and so unbelievably happy. With all due respect to Jack Thompson, who's here somewhere, Chris Sutton, Bob Diaboy, who's not here, Brian Henderson, Bill Fellows. These were all big-time home run hitters at Lewis and Clark. We didn't play nearly as many games as they do now, but please, my pleasure to introduce to you the home run king, Wayne Anderson.
I do feel a little more comfortable with the bat most of the time. So I just like to welcome all the Pios. When they say that. All our friends, all our families, our teammates for coming to this induction tonight. With the advent of, quote, the new mascot, it really made me start thinking about what is a Pio? What is a pioneer? What are the traits of that? The first trait that I thought about was my parents. Probably around 1962, my parents and a family friend developed a part, a simple part that solved a problem for Boeing, the airplane manufacturer. They looked outside the box, they looked at everything that they could do, and they made it happen. So for 50 years, my family was the only home-based business that supplied Boeing. So every time I fly on a plane in Boeing, I'm thinking to myself, well, I got a part in here someplace that I built, that I helped my sisters build. I was going to put my mom in a different situation, but she was a huge part of it. This was a family business. We worked, we did it, and everything. In my family, I also look at my two sisters, Sherry and Debbie. In 1974, they were playing girls basketball, women's basketball, for Tigard High School. And they were playing for the coach that I played for in baseball at Tigard. At the end of the season, they were invited to the Oregon Invitational Girls Basketball Tournament. They won it. But it was not recognized by the OSAA. My sisters are getting old, so they don't really remember exactly. Sorry. We think in 2004 or 2005, they were granted the first ever girls basketball state champion, Jerry. I'm not going to say, that's a pioneering spirit and everything, but that's just thinking outside the box and doing it and having fun doing it. I was hoping to have my coach from Mount Hood Community College, Greg Kuzik. A bunch of my players and my teammates know him very well. He gave me the opportunity to swing like I wanted to swing, where I felt powerful, where I felt everything. First year playing at Mount Hood, I think I had 10 at bats. But we worked through the summer, we worked through the winter, worked through the spring. I mean, it was just a long journey. My second year at Mount Hood Community College, I broke, and I can't think of the guy's name, I know him very well, I broke his home run record, and that was in 1986. My name is still up there. It has been tied once, and we don't think it'll ever be tied again. And he gave me the opportunity to do what I wanted, which was abnormal for the time. Home run hitters, power hitters were not, you guys won't know what I'm talking about, some will, that I was an inside-out hitter, which basically means I was a right-hander, my power field was right center. And in the terms of professionals and all that kind of stuff, they thought, no, there's no way in heck somebody could hit like that. My last baseball game was probably when I was 52 years old, and that was 8 years ago. And I still hit home runs. But I thank Greg Kuzik every day for that. These guys over here know him very well. He's a very well-respected guy in the community. So after my season at Mount Hood, I had some recruiting trips. Nothing big. I had talked to Jerry Gatto, and I had talked to a couple other teams in our league. And I remember what one of the team's coaches said about Jerry Gatto. He said, he asked me, where else are you looking at? And I said, well, I'm looking at Lewis and Clark also. That coach said to me, and at the time it seemed like it didn't sink in. He said, no, you don't want to go to Lewis and Clark because Jerry Gatto is going to make you think you are better than you are. So if you think about that for a second, think you're better than you are. In the 80s, in that type of era, the coaches were hard asses, yellers, screamers, and everything. Jerry Gatto was not. He wasn't a true motivator, but he got into our heads. And he got into our heads in a way that made us think. And it made us better. I mean, am I shooting out of the box right there, guys? He was a pioneer in coaching. And his pioneership, and what I see in his pioneership, is the way coaches coach today. And that was almost 30 years ago. And I love Jerry, his wife, Carol. I think she's having hip surgery next week, and she's having a tough time getting around. She wouldn't be here. But the people that Jerry Gatto also recruited are some of my best friends, even though we might see each other once a year, every 5 years. And it is amazing the connection we have. And I love it. It's sometimes people say don't think of the past. But when you have people and everything that we have in our lives, it is fabulous. Lastly, I want to thank the committee, the board, who gave me this induction. I was very surprised when Mark called. His email or his voicemail basically said, "Hey, Wayne, this is Mark from Lewis and Clark, athletic director." Next words out of his mouth were, "And I'm not looking for money." So I was very surprised. I have a few things if somebody wants to stop by my table 5 right here. Wristbands, Pios forever. That's who we're going to be, and that's what I'm going to be remembered as, and that's what I'm going to remember as being a pioneer for Lewis and Clark College, and it was a great time. I loved it. So thank you, folks.